welcome to AAUW Conversation and Connection. It's a wonderful day in the village today. We've had up and down weather, rain yesterday, May 7th or 8th. Oh my goodness, but today's pretty and it's going to be pretty the rest of the week, so we can watch our weeds and plants grow. So anyway, welcome. AAUW stands for the American Association of University Women. And we are here at the ACTV, which stands for Auburn Community Television. And I want to thank Phil, who produces the show. I guess you're the producer. I never get that name quite right. But anyway, he's the owner, operator, and makes us all look good. And I also like to thank Susan Rushton because she gave our organization the idea to promote ourselves through this TV show. And so it's a monthly little show that I interview different folks for. We promote equity and education primarily in women and young girls, and we do scholarships. That's a huge thing. The other thing that we do is Tech Trek. And so my guest today is Rachel Kanowski, and she is heading our Tech Trek program, and we're going to discuss that the next 30 minutes, and you're going to know all about it. So I'm excited. It's a wonderful program. So welcome, Rachel.
Hi, good to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to have you. I know you're such a passionate voice for Tech Trek. So
I am. I really
So
dig it.
before we get into what it is and how we're doing it this year, tell me a little bit about your journey with AAUW.
Let's see, I'm a chemistry teacher, retired, and the first time I heard of AAUW, they were doing programs for middle school and high school girls, and they came out and did some great science stuff with our girls, and I was really turned on by what they did with the girls, and it was focused on things that girls aren't typically kind of encouraged to do, and it was my first experience. And then later on down the line, when I moved to Auburn, I was asked by a friend to join, and I did, and learned a lot more about Tech Trek, which is the science camp for girls, and I've been learning more and getting more drawn in ever since.
Yeah, did you start out as the committee chair? I mean, shortly after you joined?
No, not at first. That was Beth Taylor.
Oh, that's right.
And she did it for the first couple of years. I was in AAUW, and then she needed to move.
Right.
And I expressed an interest in it as soon as I joined, but she reached out to me as she was leaving and asked me if I would do it, and I would say I'd love to.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, I don't
Just
mean
in
to
time for the
forget
pandemic,
Beth.
by the way, right?
Really, yeah. But Beth was she was great because she was an engineer, so that kind of fit in with the young girls, and again, a chemistry teacher, okay.
Yeah, it works.
So, okay, so let's jump in. What is Tech Trek?
Tech Trek is a STEM camp for girls who are going between 7th and 8th grade.
Only between 7th
and 8th grade specifically. There's some research that shows that is the age at which girls typically turn away from math and science interests that they may have innately, mostly due to social pressures.
Right.
So it was a lot of research that was done by AAUW, and that's why we target that age group.
Okay, great.
We give them a great time. We just show them all these people and things that women love to do that are not in the typical arenas.
Yes.
And so that's really powerful.
It's not like home ec.
Well, home ec's great, actually.
I know.
There's
I
a
love
lot of great science in I don't diss home ec at all.
No.
But again, we weren't encouraged to do stuff. My brother learned to fix my bike. I didn't. That kind of thing. And I was interested in that stuff, but that was just not what we did. So.
No, it really wasn't. Yeah. So, let's see, I'm going to do this kind of in the order of business. How do these 7th, 8th graders, between those two grades, how do they hear about us? How do they know about us? How do they apply?
Great question. So the way we select our campers, should I give you a little more information about Tech Trek? Is a STEM camp for girls. There's 7 colleges that run Tech Trek camps in California. There are 10 states that have Tech Trek programs at various colleges in other states.
Okay.
So it's a program that's been around about 20 years.
Okay.
And all of these camps have branches that feed into that camp, and we are from the Auburn branch, and so I'm the branch coordinator. I reach out to local middle schools in the area, and I'm reaching out specifically to math and science teachers in 7th grade, and we ask them to make recommendations of girls who show an aptitude, show an interest, a passion. They don't have to be the A student. And bonus, if the girl is from a family or a background that may not be able to be super supportive of her, for example, she can't go to other camps and things like that. So the math and science teachers recommend these girls. We give them a whole kind of description of what we're looking for. They make the recommendations, and then we reach out to the parents and request their permission to to interact with the girl, and also to fill out a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
And if they get through that step, they go through an interview, and we interview the girls and select our campers. Each branch is allocated a specific number of slots, so we have a limited number that we can send.
And that's determined by the state AAUW because
Right,
they're
yeah,
in control of the
correct.
campuses.
So for California, state AAUW runs or oversees the 7 camps. There's camp directors at each one. Each camp can hold around 100 girls, I think, and each camp is drawing from a number of branches.
Okay.
And so the branches then get informed what they can manage, we also get to request up front. We always request 8 or 10. We usually get about 5 to 6, at least since I've been doing it.
Right.
And then at that point, now we can go out and reach out to middle school teachers in our area, in the Auburn area.
Okay.
There's 14 schools in our area.
Okay, I was going to ask
Yes,
that. 14.
Yeah, it's a lot. And
you
we
can only
physically
pick-
visit
I
them.
was like, oh.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So we really try to play that balancing act. We end up asking the teachers from each school to select, I think it was 3 girls this year, and then we reach out to those families with the permission of the teacher, and they fill out forms.
Okay.
And then there's an interview. We interview the families as well as the girls, and
Wow.
we end up selecting our girls that way.
Yay.
And we've gotten a great batch of girls last year. We got a great batch of girls this year. I'm really excited about them.
That's so fun. I've been involved in AAUW Auburn for quite a long time, and I remember when we started this program, we were probably one of the first groups, so it was probably 20 years ago, and our campus at that time was Stanford, and we sent 3 to 5 girls, I want to say 3 only to start it out, to Stanford. We did that about 3 years, and then it started to get more recognized and promoted and encouraged.
right.
And so we have switched our campuses. Are they all Davis? Is that our campus now?
All our
UC
girls go to
Davis?
UC Davis.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So, but there are 7 colleges, and so another thing is the girls all have this college experience.
Right.
It's this STEM camp. They live in the dorms. They eat in the cafeterias that the students eat in. They're meeting folks at work at UC Davis in the sciences.
It's a week program of immersion, right? I mean, they
Right.
are they allowed cell phones even?
Nope.
Nope, I didn't think so.
No,
I
they are
think
not.
that is great.
And matter of fact, that's one of the things they agree to in the paperwork is,
Yeah.
and the parents agree to it.
Right.
So no cell phones.
No cell phones. I think that's great. I mean, I'm sure they're around, so if they needed
Absolutely.
it.
And, and we post all day, every day, what the girls are doing. They're
Yeah.
doing a lot of cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so parents and people can go in and see what's happening every day
to
in
them.
camp.
Yeah. Oh, that's just, to have that experience at such a young age, it has to be encouraging. And I think,
That's the hope.
yeah,
right?
that is the hope. We have had follow through many times with letters from young girls, and or some of these young ladies go on to be scholarship recipients
Yeah, they do.
because they have journeyed through AAUW world,
Right,
if you
right.
will. So that's kind of neat, I think.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it is.
Anyway, okay, so a little history there, about 20 years. We were at Stanford, we're at UC Davis now. This year, how many girls are we sending?
We're sending 7 girls. We're sending, so there's the residential camp, which is at UC Davis. The girls live in the dorms. They have dorm moms. They're in pods. And then we have a virtual camp. And the virtual camp is something that came up from the pandemic.
Right.
It was the first camp we had after having to cancel for a year, like so many people did, right?
Right.
But And initially, the virtual camp was just so we could do something that next year. But the folks that put it together did a really fantastic job. And it's not sitting in front of a screen at school,
Right.
months after the pandemic started. This is a real solid program. The girls get a box at home full of stuff to do, experiments.
Oh, neat. See, I
and
didn't know
then
that.
it's run all week long, and they run it like a camp. They're there
So
from
they
8
have
to
like
5.
dates and times. They have to be
classes,
there class.
They have groups. They have
Oh.
high school counselors. They have women who are technically, very skilled. They have instructors. It's just like camp,
But
as much as you can,
You can
do in that
do
way.
because
yeah.
they're still at home.
They are
and
at home.
Is anybody monitoring them at home? I mean, maybe their parents a little bit.
I don't know if the camp director
Yeah.
instructs specific like that to the parents.
Okay.
But there are folks in those camps, in the virtual camps, who are talking to the girls, taking in it. They do sign some paperwork agreeing that they will participate fully when because it's a scholarship. They're not paying to be there.
Right.
They've been awarded a scholarship, and we do work with the families to get some buy-in prior to going.
Oh, that's-
because there's so much work that goes behind putting it all together.
Yeah.
And they come. We've had it for 2 years now. This will be our third, and they come away. They being the families, excited about what their daughters did.
Yeah.
So it really is a terrific program. In this day and age, we're doing a lot more learning online.
Yeah. Yeah.
How it can be done well.
Yeah,
Right.
and I find that fascinating since I'm so old school. I still write letters
It's
and use
still
a
kind of
stamp,
strange,
so-
yeah. But
Yeah.
and another thing is that when you're asking 7th grade girls to go away from home for a week, and they're not going to see their parents, they're going to be with people they don't know. Not all those girls are ready for that. It's
Yeah.
totally understandable. Not all those families are ready for that. So
Right.
it's turned out this has been a great option for families like that. We do
So
have
they
a few
want
of our
if they want to
girls
Zoom.
really want the experience, but they're nervous about sending them away for a
Right.
week.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
of them haven't been away for a week from home.
You almost want to kick them out of the nest anyway, but it's a great option,
Yeah.
and it still gives them exposure to the STEM programs.
I was cool to the idea at first, but I've been watching it and I'm involved with it, and I've come full circle. They're doing a great job.
Great job on the virtual.
There's probably nothing like living in the dorms, which
Right.
is what the residential camp is about. But this is still really
Pretty darn
a
good.
great thing for girls. And the point of the camp is to immerse them in a lot of experiences. A lot of emphasis on not being the talking head up front, but having them do things and try things and think about things and learn things and and see all these people around them who are like that. Now,
Yeah.
I was like that as a kid, and a lot of folks, ladies involved in the program, are like that. We want to do things. We're curious. And,
Yeah.
that's not always been rewarded out in the mainstream, but they get to do that with a bunch of women, and it's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I like the interaction of the girls working with people they don't know, other girls they don't know. It's kind of grand, and I want to go to dates because you added a component, I think 2 years ago or a year ago, where you go to Sacramento's Science Museum.
Right, we're doing that in
right?
2 weeks.
Yeah,
right.
So tell us a little bit. That was something Rachel, I think, single-handedly added last year. Last year? Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't actually my idea.
Well,
I was
I
like
wanna
all
give you
good
credit.
teachers. I'm great at copying, and I actually got the idea from the Nevada branch of AAUW.
Okay.
Of course, they send their girls to the same camp, and the first year I was doing this, I reached out to Martha Reese a lot.
Right.
And she was so helpful.
Yeah.
And once we selected the girls, she said, "Hey, we see them first. We do this, we do that." It sounded like a good idea. And the museum in Sacramento had just openpened, and
Yep.
I wanted to go see
I
it.
know, me too,
I've taken a
yeah.
lot of kids on field trips, when I was a
Just-
teacher. Let's
yeah.
just make this little field trip. And we
So
had a
okay,
ball.
so
Yeah.
let's roll it back. How many do we have this year?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Are they? And how many are on campus, and how many virtual?
5 are residential, which is
And
on
2
campus, and 3 are virtual.
3,
Right.
okay.
We
So-
did have 6 of the girls, and 1 was going to be residential, but a couple of families had some concerns about the vaccination
Okay.
and ended up opting to go to the virtual
Virtual.
camp.
Okay,
Yeah.
so really we have 5 and 3. Is
We
that
have
accurate?
7, total of 7, 4 and 3.
Oh, 4
Yeah,
and 3.
4 and 3,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I thought you said
We
5.
wanted
Sorry,
6, but
Right.
you know, we had some issues. So.
Okay, no worries.
But it's
So-
all good. Yeah.
It's all good.
Everybody's going.
Everybody's going. And
Right.
so those 7 girls are going to meet in 2 weeks with you and a few other chaperones.
And their families.
And their families.
It's just a big, relaxed, let's meet at the museum.
Yeah.
We had a great time last year. It's a great museum. Just go.
It's
Check
downtown
it out.
Sacramento,
It's Sacramento
near
Museum
the rail
of
yards.
Science and
aren't it?
Curiosity.
Yeah,
It's
science.
actually in the old PG&E building.
Oh, that's right. Down
Right.
off of 5
yeah,
there.
It's, right near Discovery Park.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. Curiosity. That's a great name, I think.
Well, and it's a hands-on science museum. If you've ever been to the Exploratorium, they've taken a lot of cues from that museum. It's
Okay.
you're doing things when you're there.
Okay.
It's very well done. It's very localized to Sacramento. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Happy to be going again and taking the girls
I think that's
and
fun.
their families. And we just ran around and did stuff. And we went into the planetarium about halfway in and saw a terrific, presentation and.
Oh,
ran around the museum
and,
some
and so
more
at
and-
least those 7 girls at least get to meet each other.
Absolutely,
Right,
that was
so
one
that's
of the big
kinda
things,
nice.
is because they're from different schools, so
Schools,
they
yeah.
don't necessarily know each other. I think we have 2 from the same school, but
Okay.
mostly they don't know each other.
Okay.
So it gives them a chance to meet,
Yeah.
gives them a chance to meet us, it gives us a chance to meet the family. This
So they learn
at
a
this
lot of
juncture-
social skills along with all this.
Right, and
They
the
really
parents
do.
get to relax a little bit. I think
Yeah.
that we're this entity that reached out from the darkness and said, hey, we want to take your daughter to camp. And,
Right.
Because her science or math teacher thinks she's, probably got some aptitude here. And so I think the parents really appreciate it. Because
Yeah.
they bring their brothers and sisters. And
And it is a cool place. I mean,
It
it's
is.
a good reason to go down there. So now, when is the actual Tech Trek camp?
Tech Trek camp for UC Davis is the first week of July.
First week of July.
Excuse me, second week. It's right after the 4th is when it begins.
Okay.
So it begins on a Sunday and goes to a Saturday.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And the girls show up the first day with their families. They have a meeting with everybody, and they kind of right away throw them into getting to know each other, doing things, games and stuff like that. And then they are going to go into their core classes Monday through Friday. There's 5 core classes. And they're all science STEM-based classes, and the girls are all put into one, and they go Monday through Friday in the mornings for 3 hours. And then in the afternoons, from Monday through Friday, they go to field trips around the college campus. For example, last year we went to the Mondavi. We went behind the scenes, and the crew there did a fantastic job of having the girls on the ladders and having all the equipment out, and then the whole lighting side and the whole sound side. And the girls, they put them on there, and the girls messed with stuff,
Oh,
and all
fun.
these fabulous effects were going off everywhere, and they would have them rotate through all these stations.
Oh,
And it was
and the
really,
Manavi is so cool.
and the Manavi is so cool.
Yeah,
it's
it
such
is
a
cool.
wonderful building.
Yeah.
And we got to talk to the technicians, some of them, some men and some women, about how they meshed their love of art with their love of science, and
Right.
they're very technical with all of the light and sound there. So
Wow.
that was great. Anyway, so afternoons we visit multiple venues like that on campus, and then we have dinner in the dining commons, and then we come on back in the evenings. And each evening there's another program, also very hands-on.
Okay.
We're going to make ice cream. We're going to talk about chemistry. We're going to meet women in non-typically women fields, and they don't just sit up there and talk, but they always have an activity.
That's
So they're always doing something.
yeah. And then for our branch in particular, then we celebrate what these girls did at September 15th, I think, this year.
Right.
So we have our meeting, a general meeting for our membership, and then the girls come, and they're the program. They share how they did and what they did,
Right.
and it's always such a delight. It is just a really a delightful meeting to hear what the girls did, and
Yeah.
it's very fun, very fun.
Yeah.
So that's September. let's see, you've got your girls for this year. So if I have a 7th grader, how do I want to start
If
looking
you're
at
talking
things?
from a parent's point
Right,
of view,
I'm a
that's
parent, has a
not really in their.
Not
It's-
till
it's
the
a
end of the
teach-
7th, but
Well,
I
it's
can
a-
apply or ask the science teacher. They're going to approach me?
That's not really the
Okay.
the way that it's run. We reach out to 7th grade
Something-
science
okay.
teachers.
Okay.
And we are asking, here's some criteria.
Okay.
There's a whole criteria that we kind of review every year and
Okay.
tune up a little bit. And
Wow.
but basically, we're looking for girls that might have inclinations towards science, but might not yet be kind of like in tune with that.
Right.
Might not have been encouraged yet, that kind of thing. And a lot of them actually already have been. A lot of them have very supportive families, but the recommendations are coming from the teachers.
Teachers,
Yeah.
okay, because I know
the parents are not
in
initiating those,
some
unfortunately.
in some pathway of life,
Yeah.
sometimes I want my daughter to do that, and I don't quite know how to answer that when you hear it.
And here's a good way to answer that. There are tons of great camps if that's kind of the angle you want to take on that for girls to attend. This is not the only program with this type of focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I could have told you several, because some of the girls that don't get selected, that's one of the things that the California AAUW put together that I really appreciated, was a list. Hey, don't
look
let the
into
ball
this.
drop.
Yeah.
Here are all these great things that are going on. It was quite an impressive list.
Good.
And it felt good to be able to offer that
Right.
to the girls that weren't selected.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because sometimes you hear about things and you want to go there, but it just doesn't happen to work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. So, let's see. I don't know. That's pretty much our tech track. We fund the girls mostly, right?
AAUW, Auburn provides a scholarship, which is the camp fee. All the branches do that. So,
Right.
for example, all of the branches in Northern California that are sending campers to the UC Davis camp are all paying for those slots.
And again, that's the way we raise money for scholarships. When we say scholarships, it's not just the high school and Sierra College. It is our Tech Trek girls scholarships
right.
as well. And we just got done with the B in March, and we're bringing back the scavenger hunt. I'll put in a little plug in July. So that's how our branch funds these scholarships and for young women and for college women. So it's kind of exciting that we do that for them. Let's see. I was going to, if anyone is interested in can they find out more? What can they
About
find
Tech
out?
Trek?
Yeah,
Sure.
what's on our website?
There's some things on our website, the Auburn AAUW.net, I believe it is, website, but it's more comprehensive on the California website, which
Okay.
is AAUW California.
Yep.
And then in your search, you can put in Tech Trek, and there's lots of great stuff there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me give those. The California website is aauw-ca.org, and our branch is auburn-ca.aauw.net. So, Phil's laughing at me. Why are you laughing at me, Phil? Did I do it wrong? Oh, I know, it's so long. He always laughs at our website. It seems like a long
Or just
handle.
our name,
Our
right?
name, really.
American Association
Association
of
University of Women. Yeah, it's long.
It's pretty clunky.
Yeah. And we all agree, and we stumble over it from time to time as well. But you can find out more about that program. And let's see, what else do we want to talk about? I'm excited
I wanted to
for
tell you
you.
after we said that AAUW, the name is clunky, that probably we're aware that the organization is quite old. It goes back well before the passage of the 19th Amendment, by about 30 years, and that was its original aim.
Right.
And that's back when not many women had higher education.
Right.
So.
And our branch is 73 years old.
Is it?
It
Yeah,
does.
that's great.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
know
only know that, giving away my age, but it was the year I was born. So, Let's see. So anyway, it is kind of fun, and we encourage you all to come to our website. We have different programs. And Rachel, one more thing I wanted to thank you for is you have, again, trying to be a cohesive program for our tech trackers. We give them little bears. Is that what you did?
Yeah. That was, again, it was actually someone else's idea from another branch, and I stole
Rachel.
it.
I give Rachel all the credit. No, okay.
But this branch down in Southern California put out a little post, and it was the most, I should have brought it. It's so cute. Just a stuffed animal with a Tech Trek t-shirt on. It's just a little cute thing, and we gave them to our girls, and I got one too.
Okay, maybe I need to join the committee. I want one too. That might be kind of cute to sell those different things. Anyway, it's a cute idea, so the girls have something, not only the experience to take with them, but there's still a cute little thing that is a reminder of their year.
And as branch coordinators, our job is to recruit these girls, support them and their families as they go through the initial process of filling out an application for the interview. And there's actually a lot of little steps, and it's all online, and it's on a camp doc website, and it can be a little confusing, and just kind of supporting them through. Now they're all selected, so now we're supporting them through the field trip. The little bear, let's do this.
Let's
have a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, and then afterward we will request, and we tell them this up front, we request them to be ambassadors for 5 years. So we want to follow them. What are you doing in high school? What are your interests now?
Right.
We just had a gal who we reached out to. She got a scholarship because she's going to be a chemistry major next year.
Yeah.
And so, those are pieces of information that tell us, hey, maybe we were helpful. Maybe we influenced this in a good direction.
Yeah.
I want to mention that the reason I'm passionate about Tech Trek is because there's so many problems in the world, and it can feel overwhelming for all of us. And so we all try to think of our little ways that we can help a little bit, right? And for me, this feels like the best I can do based on my skill set of being a high school chemistry instructor, of putting girls in these STEM fields, maybe we've got twice as many minds working on these really difficult problems. So I think of it as like, we're going to plant a few seeds.
Right.
It's a little something, it's not a big something, but it's what it can do, it's what we can do. Right?
Yeah. And that's another reason to get involved in any organization that you're passionate about is to be helpful in some capacity with a troubled world that we are in, and untrouble it for a few minutes or a few days or whatever. So in that, we are almost coming to the end of our show. So our Tech Trek girls are going to be going off to campus and or virtual second week in July. And I think that's exciting. I'm going to put in just a couple other plugs. Our year-end member reception or whatever meeting it's going to be more for the scholarship winter hellos and congratulations and installation of new officers is the end of May 31st. That's coming up. Again, probably can go on our website and find out more about it.
It's a potluck.
Yeah. So that's coming up. And then not related to AAUW, but something that I'm starting to get more passionate about, and I think it is in correlation with my age, but the Senior Center is having a FAM festival June 10th. I'm just going to throw that out there. June 10th at the Auburn Library Amphitheater outside. FAM stands for Food, Art, and Music. So June 10th. Just put that on your radar. That's it. I kind of intermingled a few things, but
thanks for your interest. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, Rachel, thank you. Thank you, Phil. I think everybody be good to yourselves and each other, and have a great week. And go Science Tech Trekkers.
Yeah.
So, thank you.